Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel, Jaz's Book Journeys. Happy October. I am so excited to be here with you today. I am filming this from my place of employment, Voyager Bookshop in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So as you can see, I am surrounded by these wonderful books. Look at all that fiction, huh? Isn't it great? I'm like a kid in a candy store here. I love it. So today I will be continuing my 31 days of reviews. I hope to post 31 reviews anyway this month, and I'll be briefly discussing Richard Matheson's 1956 novel, The Shrinking Man. As you can see, this is an old copy. It was published in 1956. It's quite beat up. Some of the pages had fallen out, so I had to repair it with Scotch tape. Just kind of a temporary fix, maybe not the greatest repair for a book. But anyway, Richard Matheson is a very influential writer on horror novelist Stephen King, Anne Rice, and a number of other novelists. He wrote a bunch of short stories. He wrote I Am Legend, which became a movie starring Will Smith, Stir of Echoes, a really great novel called Bid Time Return, which was filmed as Somewhere in Time in 1980. A really, really great, tender love story and time travel novel. It's actually quite difficult to find, but if you're able to find it, I highly recommend that. That's a great read. That was actually the first thing I read by Matheson. And Matheson was also influential in filmmakers like Steven Spielberg, who filmed Duel, I believe, in 1971. Movie nerds, correct me if I'm wrong with the date there, but it's a really great suspense film based on the short story, maybe you could call it a novella by Richard Matheson, about a truck driver that basically follows this guy in the road and basically threatens him, trying to run him off the road and stuff. It's really good. So anyway, The Shrinking Man, this novel, which was actually made into a movie directed by Jack Arnold in 1957, named The Incredible Shrinking Man, at its root, it basically deals with male psychology, what it means to be a man in the 1950s, what it means to lose your job, lose your relationship, lose your self-worth, what it means to be the provider of a family. Basically, what happens is the narrator, Scott Carey, is drenched in a wave while on a ship or on a yacht or something with his wife, a magical blue liquid, which turns out to be something maybe radioactive, which causes him to shrink, to lose height every day. And this novel takes place over a series of 18 months. It's mainly told in flashback as he struggles to escape from his basement, where he has many run-ins with a black widow spider. He confronts a cat, an enormous cat, because by this point he's like 3/7 of an inch thick or something. So, I mean, the way Matheson creates this world of giant objects, which are mundane, everyday household items, is really brilliant. I mean, he uses the chair, the lawn chair, as like a cliff face, and just a box top for Carrie's bed sheet and stuff like that. A sponge is his mattress. And I really love how he creates this world of gigantic objects, which is now Scott Carey's world, because he's been trapped in the basement for so many months. But more than anything, I believe the novel just delves into the psychology of men at the time. I mean, in the 1950s, obviously, gender roles were pretty rigid. The men worked. I mean, I'm just saying this is how it was, not that it was right or anything, but men worked. They provided for the family, at least, the middle class. Had a job, had a stable paycheck, did manly things, stuff like that. And the women stayed home with the children and cooked. And so for Scott Carey, shrinking, not being able to have intimate relations with his wife is very, very difficult on him, because his sex drive doesn't diminish. And not to be able to work, I mean, it frustrates him immensely and depresses him immensely. But eventually he grows resigned to his fate. And I think this novel has a really great, hopeful ending. I actually expected a bleak, really tragic ending, but no, actually, Matheson gives us a nice, actually kind of scientific ending. But there is hope for Scott Carey after all. Don't want to give away any spoilers. But yeah, I love how Matheson explores the male psyche through Scott Carey. I love the battles between the black widow spider and the cat, and just everyday struggles such as getting cracker crumbs off the fridge so he can eat. He meets a little person, I want to use politically correct term here, at a carnival, and he has a very tender night with her. And so Matheson is very good at expressing character, humanity, and emotions and everything, and just mixing kind of everyday life with the supernatural and the horrifying elements, which Stephen King does so skillfully as well. So I would definitely recommend you read The Shrinking Man by Richard Matheson. I give this novel a 5 out of 5 stars. I mean, there really isn't much gore in here at all, aside from Carey getting hurt. He hurts his leg, he's got a sore throat. But really, aside from him getting into a few mishaps, there's really no gore or blood or guts or anything. So that's kind of on the low side. But for character development, psychological development, I rate it very highly. It's very enjoyable and very perceptive, and I highly recommend you read it. So until next time, happy reading. If you've read this novel, or if you have seen the film, which is also great, and you would like to read the novel, please drop this in the comments. And I will also include a link in my description. My husband Franz and his friend Paul have a wonderful podcast called The Drive-In Garage, available on Spotify and iTunes, Apple podcasts. And if you would like to know more about the movie, and you'd like to listen to a podcast about the movie, you can check out that episode. I'll post it in the description. So if you like my content, please smash that like button and please subscribe. I really, really appreciate it. I can't wait to create a community of fellow bibliophiles. So thanks for listening and have a great day.